Hello everyone, welcome to GS Core. So in our series of the coverage of daily current affairs through MCQs, we are going to look at 5 multiple choice questions based on today's current affairs. So let's have a look at the topics that we are going to touch upon today. The first one is NPR, that is the National Population Register. Okay. Now recently it has been announced that the parents' religion to register births which may be used to update the NPR. So this is a recent development with regards to NPR, right? National Citizens Registry, National Population Registry, the whole idea of the Citizenship Amendment Act, etc. All these things sound similar but are not the same. And hence, whenever these things are in news, we need to have an understanding of these aspects. Second, well, the election season is on. Already the election dates have been announced, right? And in this context, various parties are actually contesting. There is a factionalism in parties, like we saw in the Shiv Sena, right? So the fight in such circumstances is often for the name and symbol. Okay, and certain parties were allocated symbols for the recently to be held general elections, and hence this idea is in news. Next is about the industrial alcohol, and the 9-judge bench of the Honorable Supreme Court is examining the issue of overlapping powers of center and states in production, manufacturing, supply and regulation of industrial alcohol. The next is the currency derivatives, right? And the Reserve Bank of India recently deferred the implementation of its direction on exchange traded currency derivatives linked to rupee by a month to May 3rd in view of the feedbacks received from all the stakeholders. Last but not the least, it is about the dark energy, and the largest 3D map of our universe could hint how dark energy actually evolves with time. So this 3D map of universe can actually help us understand the life cycle of dark energy. So let us move on to the questions. So the first one, like I said, is about the NPR, and it is being used because the parents' religion is set to be recorded and NPR is going to be updated through that. So with regards to such questions, the concept that is underhand, NPR, so we have to understand the legal, constitutional, procedural dimensions as well as the implications. Now, with regards to skills and approach for such questions, the first thing is that is the fact. Therefore, recall, retention is essential, and the next is application, as in what is allowed, what is not allowed. So these concepts help us identify the correctness of the statement. These mapping sort of help us, and this is the approach. If you look at the format is something where we can use elimination. So let us read the question. Consider the following statements regarding the NPR. It contains details of all the citizens residing in the country. No. It is not a citizenship sort of a data, as it even records a foreigner staying in India for more than 6 months. It's about the population. It's not about the citizenship. So the moment first statement becomes incorrect, we can straight away eliminate two options. The next statement. It is prepared before every census exercise during the house listing phase from 1951 onwards. No, that is also not the case. It is not coterminous, so as to say, with the census. The first time it was done in 2010, then updated in 2015. So this statement is again incorrect, right? So the option to mark would be option D. Option D. Moving further. Allotment of the party symbol. Allotment of the party symbol. Just like I said that elections are on the way, and recently the NTK that secured 3.9% and 6.5% votes in Tamil Nadu in 2019 and 21 respectively have been allotted a new common symbol, which is a mic. So the concept here, which is to be understood, it is the procedure and powers. How it is done, who does it, right? So with regards to skills and approach, it is largely the recall identification. That's it. There are very less implications, so as to say, but the approach should be very clear that what is allowed and what is not allowed. If you look at the format of the question, it is vague in the sense that it is how many, so we cannot use the elimination. Now let us read the statements. Symbols are allotted to political parties and contesting candidates based on provisions of the Representation of People's Act. If you look at this statement is incorrect. Like I said, procedure, power. The backing, if you look at, comes from the election symbols, reservation and allotment order 1968. So the backing is incorrect. Next statement. A common free symbol shall be available to a registered unrecognized party for a single general election. Okay. So if you look at this particular statement, a common free symbol is available to a registered unrecognized party not for a single but two general elections. So that's the point. Okay. So largely playing on facts. The symbols are allotted on a first come first serve basis. This is correct. So if you see the three statements, two are incorrect, one is correct. Hence, the option to mark here would be option A. Option A. Moving on to the next one. Industrial alcohol. And like the news said that the 9-judge constitutional bench is actually seized of the matter regarding the overlapping powers. For the regulation of industrial alcohol. Now the concept here is regulation, center state dynamics in terms of alcohol, right? So mostly it's implied in nature. Okay, so what is in news is important, but so is what is current system and what is the issue. So whenever we talk about skills and approach regarding such a question, right, anything which is contentious and an issue is there, right, application skills become vital, because you have to examine what is consistent and what is inconsistent. So always the approach involves deduction. If you look at the format is again vague. How many? So we cannot use the elimination. Now, with regards to concepts, whenever we look at this, alcohol as an entity, because the interlinking can be there. So again, application and interlinking, because alcohol comes across as a scientific entity, right? So we'll have to see the scientific applications as well. Let's read through the question. Denaturing alcohol alters the ethanol molecule chemically and structurally to make it unfit for human consumption. This process is defined, and as a concept with regards to alcohol, you should know this. This statement is incorrect. In fact, denaturing does not alter the ethanol molecule, right? Rather, ethanol is mixed with other chemicals to form a foul tasting, toxic solution, so that it cannot be diverted for illicit purposes. Denatorium, which is a most bitter compound chemically known, is often added to give the substance an extremely bitter flavor. That is correct. Consumption of methylated alcohol causes blindness and death. That is also correct. So I often talk about the focus and the locus. So the focus was the SC bench, but look, the question has been framed from the angle of science. Okay, so such things can happen in the examination. So if we look at the three statements, one is correct, one is incorrect, and two are correct. Hence the option to mark would be option B, only two. Next question. Currency derivatives. Currency derivatives. So like I said, the Reserve Bank of India actually deferred the implementation of direction on the exchange traded currency derivatives. So this becomes our concept. So if you trace this concept, what are derivatives, types, I'm sorry, along with this you will have to see the impact. Okay, what rises, what brings down, and the other impacts that happen, right? So with regards to skills and approach, we need application, interlinking, deductive logic. So while approaching such a question, if you look at the format, it is statement 1 explains statement 2 kind of a format. Any which ways you need to judge the impact and the reasoning of it. So while the correctness or the incorrectness of the statement becomes important, their relationship is also of vital importance, right? Let us look at the statement. Currency futures can be used to hedge other trades or currency risks or to speculate on price movements in currencies. That is true. That is what the currency futures by definition is. Currency futures are an exchange traded futures contract that specifies the price in one currency at which another currency can be bought and sold. This is also correct. This is, if we combine statement 1 and 2, this is the correct explanation of what currency futures or currency derivatives would lead to or talk about. And if you see closely, both are linked because the hedging part is here, okay, can be bought and sold, right? So in this case, the statement 1 explains the statement 2 and it is the correct explanation. Hence the option to mark would be option A. Option A. Moving on to the last question, dark energy. And again, this question is in the same format, statement 1, explain statement 2. The news is the 3D model of universe, which can help us decipher how dark energy evolves. So since it's science and tech, the skills and approach application is vital. Also, the conceptual knowledge, what is dark energy, that is vital. Similarly, you will have to do interlinking because the question is such, application as well. So let us read the statements that are given to us. The hypothesis of dark energy comes mainly from the observed phenomena of the universe expanding at the rapid pace. That is true. Vast empty spaces between the stars and galaxies have been measured to be expanding at an accelerating pace, describe the countervailing force of gravitation, which forces scientists to hypothesize that there must be some dark energy that is causing or propelling this expansion. And if you look at them, these are pretty straight statements, but clearly explain it. So again, the answer is option A. Option A. So with this, we have come to the end of today's session. You'll find more news in our daily current affairs compilation, the link for which is in the description. That's all. Thank you.